Greetings, fellow travelers of the night, as we embark on a journey into the shadowy realms of the unexplained, traversing the boundaries of the mundane and stepping into the world of the eerie and supernatural. Tonight, we unravel the chilling tale of Alex, a talented yet struggling artist who chances upon an abandoned music studio rumored to contain dark secrets left behind by its infamous previous occupants, twin brothers renowned for their obsession with the occult. Our tale unfolds in the midst of bustling Chicago, where the whispers of strange happenings and spectral musicians draw Alex into the venue, compelling him to unlock the enigma surrounding this forsaken locale. Are you prepared to join us in this haunting odyssey, where the lines between reality and fiction blur, and where the music you adore becomes the harbinger of an otherworldly force unlike any other? Proceed with caution, for the echoes of the Serpent's Symphony linger within these walls, lying in wait, ready to ensnare the hearts and minds of the unwary, forever binding them to the darkness that dwells within.
There stood an abandoned music studio, swallowed by weeds and decades of neglect. The building housed a dark and mysterious past, linked to its previous owners. A pair of twin brothers, infamous for their obsession with the occult. Locals spoke in hushed whispers about the strange occurrences tied to the studio, claiming that the instruments within came to life during the dark of the night. Ignoring the warnings, Alex, a struggling musician, found himself drawn to the studio. Late one evening, armed with nothing but his guitar and a bag full of curiosity, he slipped into the building. A shiver ran down his spine as he crossed the threshold, but the allure of creating memorable music overshadowed his doubts. Selecting a weathered guitar, Alex tentatively strummed the strings, producing a melodic sound that echoed through the cavernous space. Mesmerized by the instrument's responsiveness, he played a few chords, only to pause mid-strum as the strings began to writhe like angry snakes beneath his fingertips. Gasping, he dropped the guitar, backing away as it transformed into a mass of slithering serpents. Panicking, he turned to leave. But the room had changed. The piano keys stretched and melted, forming a gaping maw lined with razor-sharp teeth. Invisible lungs exhaled a wintry gust that swept across the room, lifting sheet music into the air like tumbleweeds of despair. The chilling wind carried a haunting melody that seemed to emanate from the very walls themselves, sending shivers down Alex's spine. Alex fled through corridors lined with drum sets, each kit morphing into a pack of starved wolves, snapping and snarling as he dashed past. The reverberating beats of the drums matched the frantic rhythm of his heart, creating a cacophony of fear and desperation. Every step he took seemed to echo louder than the last, amplifying the sense of impending doom that hung in the air like a heavy fog. Heart hammering, he stumbled upon a dusty mirror, recognizing his reflection, except his eyes glinted with a reptilian sheen. Was he losing his mind? How was any of this even possible? Was he drugged? The mirror's surface rippled like water, distorting his features into a grotesque caricature of himself. As he reached out to touch the glass, his hand trembled, hesitant to confirm what he already suspected, that this place held secrets far darker than he could have ever imagined. Summoning his courage, Alex raced through the bowels of the studio, dodging phantasmagoric instruments and evading spectral musicians. The air thickened with anguish, despair, and the metallic tang of blood. Memories flooded the studio, resurrecting the twisted legacy of the brothers and their lust for supernatural power. Determined to escape, Alex hurtled through the main doors, bolting down the concrete steps. Collapsing onto the sidewalk, he gasped for breath. the haunting echo of a symphony ringing in his ears. His eyes snapped open, pupils contracting to pinpricks as he realized he was safe in his own apartment, miles away from the studio. A chill skittered up his spine, the memory of the Serpent's symphony etched into his soul. The studio stood vacant, wrapped in shadows, waiting for the next unfortunate visitor to waltz through its doors, ready to experience the Serpent's symphony firsthand. Weeks passed, and Alex could hardly believe the horrors he had experienced that fateful night. The chilling wind whispered secrets of the past, carrying haunting melodies that seeped into his very being. The echoes of the Serpent's symphony lingered, intertwining with each note he played, creating an eerie harmony that resonated within his soul. As he composed, the shadows of that night danced before his eyes, a macabre ballet of memories he wished to forget. The music he crafted bore the mark of his trauma, a reflection of the darkness that clawed at his sanity. Despite the praise he received for his innovative sounds, Alex carried the weight of a sinister inspiration, knowing the true source of his artistry lay in the depths of his despair. Plagued by overwhelming guilt, he resolved to destroy the haunted instruments, determined to liberate the condemned souls cruelly trapped within the malevolent music. Returning to the decrepit studio, a shiver ran down his spine as he steeled himself for yet another harrowing confrontation with the spectral ensemble. Equipped with a flickering torch casting eerie shadows, a sturdy axe glinting in the dim light, and a camera poised to capture the otherworldly, Alex descended into the bowels of the dilapidated building. Every creak of the ancient floorboards echoed ominously through the desolate space, heightening his sense of dread. He meticulously documented each cautious step, the camera recording his descent into the unknown, providing tangible proof of the supernatural forces at play. As the darkness enveloped him like a suffocating cloak, the feeble glow of the torch carved a wavering path through the shadows, revealing grotesque transformations unfolding around him. Pianos twisted into monstrous shapes, their keys morphing into venomous fangs. Violins intertwined with cobweb-strewn bones, emitting an eerie melody of despair. Drums beat with an otherworldly pulse, resonating with spectral energy that sent shivers down his spine. With grim determination, he swung the axe, hacking at the fiendish forms that defied logic and reason, the torch blazing bright as he sought to sear away the malevolent presence of the demonic essences haunting the forsaken studio. As perspiration trickled down his forehead, Alex meticulously captured photographs of ethereal wisps gracefully ascending from the shattered musical instruments. Satisfied with his progress, he courageously delved further into the ominous lair. His curiosity piqued as he sought the elusive inner sanctum of the brothers. Upon entering a poorly illuminated chamber, he stumbled upon a treasure trove of meticulously archived newspaper clippings chronicling the siblings' gradual descent into depravity. The musty air was heavy with remnants of seances, echoes of animal sacrifices, and whispers of alleged dealings with shadowy entities that lingered like a suffocating shroud. Within the collection, haunting photos depicted the brothers engaged in macabre ceremonies, their eyes rolled back in a trance, mouths frothing with a disturbing ecstasy. Sinister illustrations adorned the walls, depicting ancient symbols of forgotten deities, seemingly invoking the very essence of primordial malevolence. Each beat of his heart reverberated in his skull, a chilling realization dawning upon him. The diabolical pact of the brothers had infused the instruments with malicious spirits beyond comprehension. While Alex's actions may have inadvertently liberated some tormented souls, the malevolent core of corruption lingered ominously, a grim testament to the sinister influence that pervaded the lair. Before he could react, a crippling migraine seized him. Agony exploded behind his eyes, and the room spiraled into a kaleidoscope of darkness. As lucidity wavered, he heard the victorious laughter of musician spirits. Every sound seemed to echo with haunting melodies, resonating through the very walls of the studio. Collapsing to the floor, he convulsed, limbs jerking involuntarily. A blinding light burst from his chest, accompanied by a guttural roar that reverberated through the room. The darkness withdrew gradually, like a retreating tide, and the searing pain subsided, yielding a sense of eerie calmness that hung in the air. As he cautiously inspected his clothes, his trembling fingers came across a pendant dangling from his necklace, its chain cold against his skin. The pendant bore the intricate symbol of the brothers' deity, its craftsmanship ancient and mysterious. Turning it over, he found a Latin phrase delicately inscribed on the reverse, its meaning sending a chill down his spine: bound forever. Shock coursed through him, the weight of the burden settling heavily on his shoulders. The realization dawned upon him like a thunderclap, the curse of the brothers now a part of him, binding him to the dark legacy of the damned studio. Alex's life was irrevocably altered after that experience. He couldn't shake off the feeling of being watched, of unseen eyes prying into his soul. Every strum on his guitar, every note he penned down, felt not like his own, but as if guided by an unseen hand. His music took on a dark, twisted edge, filled with haunting melodies and discordant harmonies that mirrored the nightmarish visions of the studio. Yet, it was this very darkness that gave his music a depth and intensity it had lacked before. His compositions, once struggling for recognition, now resonated with audiences far and wide. They could sense the raw emotion, the tortured soul behind each note, and they were drawn to it, much like Alex had been drawn to the haunted studio. Despite the fear and uncertainty, Alex found himself creating more than ever before. It was as if the curse had unlocked a hidden wellspring of creativity within him. His music flowed freely, a tempestuous river of sound that seemed to have a life of its own. It was almost as if he was channeling the spirits of the twin brothers, their dark legacy living on through his music. Haunted by the studio's spectral symphony and burdened with his newfound curse, Alex was thrust into a new reality. A reality where he was no longer just a struggling musician, but a vessel for a darker, more powerful entity. He was both frightened and fascinated by this transformation, caught between the allure of his newfound success and the dread of the curse he bore. In the end, he would never know if his experience at the haunted studio was real or a figment of his overactive imagination. But one thing was certain: the studio had changed him forever. It had taken him on a terrifying journey, only to leave him with an unexpected gift, a dark muse that fueled his creativity like never before. And so, Alex continued to make music, each note a testament to his haunted past and a glimpse into his twisted future. His story served as a chilling reminder of the price of obsession, the allure of the unknown, and the haunting beauty of a melody born from darkness.